Hello, everybody. We're going to get started, and if some more classroom teachers come rolling in, that's totally fine. Well, good morning, and thank you so much for coming again to the Shine On Look to the Stars conference, and we are so excited to see some amazing workshops this morning and this afternoon, as well as the NASA Downlink that the astronauts are going to speak at, who are currently on the International Space Station, which is pretty cool. My name is Miss Taylor, and I am a college student at SUNY Plattsburgh. Today I'm going to be talking to you about outer space with Miss Jen and Miss Sophia, so give them a warm welcome. So let's get ready to learn. Is everybody ready? Okay, let's put our astronaut thinking helmets on. All right, so I'm going to start off with a question for everybody, and I want you to just think in your heads about this, okay? Just think in your heads and brainstorm when I ask you this. So, have you ever looked up into the sky and wondered what was up there past all of the birds flying high up there and the clouds and even the moon that we see high up in the sky? Have you ever wondered that? Well, we call that outer space. And in outer space, I'm sure some of you have heard of this word, is what we call our solar system. So there are 8 planets in our solar system. They're called Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And Miss Jen is going to show you all of these planets with her picture that she has. Okay, awesome. So, who knows which planet we live on? And teachers, if you would like, I will give you a couple seconds to call on a student that's raising their hand for you, and you can ask them to answer that question for me, and then we'll come back. So I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, did anybody answer Earth? That is correct. If you answered Earth, you are right. Okay, so all of these planets that we see on Miss Jen's paper here go around the sun. And as we can see, they all have different shapes and different sizes and even different colors. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and is very rocky. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. Mars is called the red planet because of its bright red color, as we can see in this picture here. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. Saturn has a great big ring around it, as we can see. Uranus is very, very cold, and we can see because it has that blue color and it looks really chilly, doesn't it? And lastly, Neptune is the furthest planet away from the sun. And we can definitely see that in our picture. So I've made a craft today to show you guys and to share with you. And this is what it looks like. So this is my solar system. And my solar system was made out of some really simple material. What I have here is I took a paper plate and I cut out the inside and I painted it black like the solar system. And I put a bunch of cutouts of my planets and some stars and things like that on it. So as you can see, my solar system has 8 planets, just like our solar system, right? Just like what we talked about. I also added some stars to mine. And so when you make this craft later on with your teacher, you can either make it look like my solar system, like this, or you can make it however you want. You can make it creative, you can make it unique, however you want. Okay, so just keep this visual in mind when you make yours. All right, it's pretty fun. Okay, awesome. So now I would like to introduce to you Miss Jen. And Miss Jen is a teacher from SUNY Plattsburgh, the school that I go to, and she's actually my teacher too. And she is going to lead you all in a fun song activity. So let's give her our best attention, okay? All right.
Thank you, Miss Taylor. I'm so excited to be here this morning, and I thought that we might be able to get you guys sort of engaged and singing along with us in a space song that we have about going up in a rocket ship. So how this is going to work is I'm going to sing the first line, and I'm going to do a hand movement that you can copy, and then you're going to copy my line and sing it back. So it's going to be like a call and an answer about going up in a rocket ship. Are you ready to get started? I hope so. Okay, so the first part of the song goes, climb aboard the spaceship. We're going to the moon. Hurry and get ready. We're going to blast off soon. Put on your helmet and buckle up real tight, because here comes the countdown. So count with all your might. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Thank you so much. So after that song, we're going to learn a little bit more about the planets and how they orbit around the sun. So I'm going to turn it back over to Miss Taylor for a few minutes, and we're going to learn all about planets and their orbits. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Miss Jen. And even though we couldn't hear you, I'm sure you have great singing voices and you were great listeners and learners for that activity. Okay, so just like our last activity that we did, I'm going to start off with a simple question that I'm going to ask, and I want you to think in your head about this, okay? So, did you know that our sun is actually just a great big star? Just like the ones that you see at night when you look high in the sky and they're all twinkling in the dark night? Well, the sun is every single planet's source of light in our solar system. And every planet in our solar system that we learned about today revolves around the sun. So I'm sure some of you are probably wondering, what does revolve mean? That's a big word. That's kind of a hard word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a simple activity that's going to help you understand what the word revolves means. And it will give you a nice picture in your head of what it looks like when our planets go around the sun, okay? So for this activity, I have some simple material that I'm sure you can find around your house or maybe even in your classroom someday with your teacher, okay? So what I got myself a pie pan. I'm sure you have one of these at home if your mom or your dad bake or anything like that. So I got a pie pan. I also got myself a little thing of Play-Doh, and I chose orange because the orange color reminds me of the sun. Okay, and lastly, I got myself a little marble. You can also use a bouncy ball or anything small and round like this, okay? And I chose green because the green reminds me of the earth. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my screen down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And as you can see, I've got my pie pan. So first, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna open up my Play-Doh and I'm gonna get a little piece out like this big, and I'm gonna make it into a ball, and then I'm gonna smush it so it's like a circle. There we go. And it kind of looks like the sun, doesn't it? Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our orange piece of Play-Doh that looks like our sun, and we're gonna stick it right in the middle of our pie pan, okay? Just like that. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my marble, my green marble that kind of looks like the earth, and I'm gonna put it right in my pie pan. So watch what happens when I tip my pie pan around. What is happening to that marble? Look at the pattern it's going in around that Play-Doh. And I'll just do this for a couple seconds so you can look at this and watch and think in your head about what revolves means. Okay? All right, so simple activity. All right, so hopefully you can do that at home. So now that we did that, and now that you kind of saw what happened to that marble around my pie pan and around that piece of Play-Doh I had? What do we think revolves means now? I want you to think about that in your heads for a second, okay? So brainstorm. Teachers, if you would like, you can call on another one of your students if they're raising their hand, and you can ask them what they think revolves means. So I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, so if you said that revolves means to go around in a circular motion, just like we saw that marble do, then you are right, okay? So as we saw, our marble, which looks like the Earth and is just like all the other planets in our solar system, moves around the sun in a circular motion, okay? All right, awesome. So great participation and thinking. And I am going to turn it back over now again to Miss Jen, who is going to lead you in some fun space yoga. All right.
Thank you so much again, Miss Taylor. I'm gonna take a couple steps back so that you guys can see my body. And then Miss Taylor and Miss Sophia, if you can see my whole body, just give me a thumbs up so that I know. Actually, I'm gonna tilt my screen down a little bit. So I don't know how you guys are seated out there in your classrooms, but what I'm gonna ask your teachers to be able to do is to allow you, if at all possible, to stand up. You don't need a whole lot of space around you, but even if students might be staggered one and then one group take a step up so that they have a little bit of room to spread out their arms or their legs if they have to. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you a space story that involves doing some poses with our body that simulate some of the planets, some of the things that we might see when we're up in space. And we're gonna pretend that we're gonna go on a little space mission. So to start off on this, I want you to imagine what it would be like to go into a rocket. So rockets are tall. There'll also be some pictures here that you can see with Miss Taylor that show the poses we want you to do if it's hard to see me. But we're gonna start off with our feet together, our hands together like this up, and then we're gonna just lift one leg, like we're ready to shoot off into outer space. So our first pose is pretending to be a rocket. So now our rocket has to blast off into outer space. So you'll bring your foot down. We're gonna bend our knees this time so that we're ready to blast off into outer space. You can stay facing forward, but I'm gonna turn my body so that you can see me. So from here, we're gonna count down and get ready to blast off into outer space. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Excellent. Now we're pretending that we're soaring up into space, so you can bring your hands again together up over your head. And we're gonna look around. Oh my goodness, there's the moon. You can bend your body like a crescent moon. You can go over to the left side, can come back up through center, and now over again to the right side, just like a crescent moon. And then the next one, you can bring your arms out to your side. Take a step out. This is called star pose. And it's a star has 5 points to it. So this is called 5-pointed star pose. And now that we've been able to see some of these stars, we're gonna land on the moon. So you can bring your feet together. We're gonna slowly make our way down to the floor. And when you're on the floor, you can stretch your legs out in front of you like I have too, because our spaceship just landed. So now that our spaceship has landed, we want to reach forward. We want to turn off all the controls in our space shuttle. We want to make sure that it's all ready for us to get out and explore the moon. So we're going to open the lid to our spaceship. But now we're out here in a new area we've never explored before. So the first way we will explore the moon is just by looking around, but keeping our heads still. So I want you to try to see if you can look up into the sky without moving your chin up, but keeping your chin pointed forward. Next, let's look down. We've never been on the moon before, so let's look at what the bottom or the ground on the Earth or on the moon looks like. We know what it looks like on the Earth, but we don't know what it looks like on the moon. So just imagine what that might look like, but don't turn your head down. Hard. Now look to the left Over to the left side, what do you see? Maybe you can see the Earth from a distance or some of the other planets. And now look over to the right side. Excellent. I know it's hard to move your eyes around without moving your head, but it's actually a skill that helps us develop our concentration and our focus. And if we think about astronauts up in space, they're wearing a helmet. So they really can't turn their head from left to right. So that's how they have to look around. The next thing that we're going to do is start to explore the moon by looking at our around by moving our body. So you can bring your feet back down to crisscross applesauce type position. And then you can take your left hand and put it over on your right knee. And then we're going to turn our bodies and look over our shoulder. Look behind you. Maybe you can see Earth from another perspective this way. And then slowly you can come back to center, and then next you're going to look over the other way. So you don't have to turn your body, but it will look like this, looking over your shoulder. And I think if we're on the moon, we don't want to spend our whole time sitting down. So we're going to get up now and we're going to explore the moon a little bit. So we're going to come to standing. We're not in gravity anymore, so you might feel a little bit different than you do on Earth, but we're still going to come together and put on our moon boots. So what I'm going to have you do is lift up one leg, see if you can balance on this one leg, and stretch up that moon boot. You can put it back down on the ground, and then we'll do the same thing with the other one. So now we're ready to sort of look around on the moon. And one of the things that I'm noticing are these beautiful constellations, these combinations of stars that are up in the sky right now. So we're going to make our body look like some of these constellations. And the first one that we're going to do is Orion. And Orion is a hunter. So we're going to make our body look like a hunter. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me, but feel free to stay forward. I'm going to bring both arms in front of me. And then I'm going to pull one back, like I'm holding a bow and arrow. And I'm going to step forward and bend that front knee a little bit. Now I look like I'm ready to hunt for something. Excellent. Now from this position, I'm just going to turn my body back to the front of the room. Stick my arms out straight to either side. Then I'm going to bend my elbows and bend my knees. Now we're looking like Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a queen up in a constellation that is named after a queen. So we're gonna sit like a goddess. Great, and then the last one that we're gonna do is named after a bear. It's named after Ursa Major. So I'm gonna bring my feet together. My knees are still bent, and then I'm gonna reach out like a big bear in front of me. Excellent, you guys did so great with those constellations, but we have to make our way back to Earth now. So we're going to bring our arms up overhead, and then we're going to fold our bodies forward, making our way back down to Earth. Slowly, we're going to sit back down. It can be crisscross applesauce. And then I want you to imagine your heart as the center of your solar system in your body. So we said the sun is the source of all light for our solar system. I want us to revolve our body around our heart, just like we learned from Miss Taylor about the Earth revolving around the sun. So how can we do this with our bodies? You can put your hands back on your knees or even the floor that's next to you, and we're just gonna make some rotations with our body. You can lean forward, you can lean backwards. And after you've done that a couple times, just go the opposite direction. Right? So the center of our universe could be the sun or our heart, and we're just making some revolutions around it. I like to end every space mission with a little piece of thank you for what we were able to see. We got to learn and explore our solar system this way, using our imaginations and using our bodies. And I'm thankful that our bodies are able to move in these ways. So we're just gonna say a little bit of thank you for all of the efforts that our bodies made. And then we're gonna turn it back to Miss Taylor, and she's gonna continue to teach you a few more things before we're done. So thank you.
Awesome job, everybody. Great work. And I hope you learned a little bit more about space through this yoga and some of the constellations. And again, we talked about the Earth revolving around the sun. So great job. Okay, So thank you for being such great listeners and learners for our first workshop this morning. We hope you were able to learn some new things. And after the NASA Downlink, we will be taking a little break, and then you're welcome to meet us back here on this same link at 12 o'clock for our second workshop. Teachers, please just refer to that schedule that was sent out to you, and we will see you again at 12. And enjoy the NASA Downlink, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.